I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
For 89 years, the Academy Awards has been honoring the greatest achievements in cinema, paying tribute to the artists who come together and make the movies which take us to different worlds, tell us the stories worth telling, and end up shaping our perception of human nature in the process. Too bad the actual Oscar ceremonies are far from being as good as the movies they honor. Yes, we all know about the typical complaints people have about the Oscars. The ceremonies are way too long, the hosts are given terrible jokes to tell, the speeches drone on and on just so celebrities can kiss their fellow celebrities' asses. But nevertheless, we still watch it every year. And with Jimmy Kimmel hosting the 89th Academy Awards this weekend, Awfully Good Movies is here to count down my personal top 5 list of the most awfully good moments in Oscar history. And by awfully good, I mean the most memorably terrible things to happen during an Oscar ceremony. The moments which gathered us around the water cooler or blew up our Twitter feed so that people could make sense of what the fuck just happened. These are the moments which put a hilarious stain on the dignified face of the Academy. But considering this is the same organization which gave Oscar nominations to Click, Norbit, The Lone Ranger, is that really that hard to do? Well, we're about to find out, as JoBlo.com and Awfully Good Movies count down the top 5 most awfully good moments in Oscar history. Number 5, from 1974, the Oscars have a winning streak. When one thinks of the act of streaking naked these days, you think of Will Ferrell from Old School, of Blink-182, of that Coney 2012 guy. But in 1974, at the height of the sexual revolution, streaking was a rebellious act of protest spreading all over the world. And it proved to be such a phenomenon that it even infiltrated the high-class atmosphere of the Academy Awards that year. Just as co-host David Niven was introducing the final award of the night for Best Picture, a man ran across the stage behind him wearing nothing more than a mustache and a peace sign.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was almost bound to happen.
This man happened to go by the name of Robert Opel, a photographer for the LGBT magazine The Advocate, who would sneak backstage posing as a journalist, and who gave David Niven a chance to make a dick joke on national TV.
Fascinating to think that probably the only laugh that man will ever get in his life is by stripping off and showing his shortcomings.
At first, people thought this stunt was completely unplanned, but the show's business manager has since claimed his wife saw David Niven plan the joke ahead of time at the dress rehearsal. Whether it was intentional or not, though, it was one of the most surprising moments in Oscar history. And though Robert Opel passed away 5 years later, his shortcomings will forever live on. We're good streaking! Yeah! Number 4, from 2011, Anne Hathaway and James Franco make an uninteresting pair. Over the years, the Oscar hosting gig has been a spotlight for some of the greatest comedians in history. But in 2011, the Oscars decided to go down a different direction when they chose actors James Franco and Anne Hathaway to co-host the ceremony. Now granted, these two were famous for being quite good in comedic roles, and James Franco was up for an Oscar himself that night for 127 hours. So perhaps this odd pairing would prove our skepticism wrong. But from the moment they stepped out on stage that night, all they did was prove us horrifically right. I mean, I'll give them credit. They could only do so much with the terrible jokes they were given. And Anne Hathaway was trying hard as hell to put some enthusiasm behind them. James Franco, on the other hand...
Wow. No. I don't know. I mean, what do you get if you win?
High as fuck. Yeah, sure, Franco said later that he was clean and sober that night, that he merely looked unenergetic when placed to the hyperactive Anne Hathaway. But regardless of whether James was smoking some of that leftover Pineapple Express backstage or not, their hosting style could best be compared to one of the sloths from Zootopia hosting alongside a chihuahua. And though the audience politely laughed along, it got savaged by critics the very next day. And Anne Hathaway would call it the most embarrassing moment of her career. But don't cry for her, she would rebound 2 years later when she won an Oscar herself for Les Miserables, while James Franco is still going strong and about to play a part perfect for a squinty-eyed weirdo who looks and acts like he's high all the time, playing Tommy Wiseau!
You are tearing me apart!
James Franco.
Number 3, from 2014 and 2015, John Travolta introduces and fondles Adele Dazeem. Before 2013, the only people who knew who Idina Menzel was were the fawning Broadway crowds who saw her on stage in Rent and Wicked. But when she voiced the icy snow queen Elsa in Disney's Frozen, she captivated movie audiences as well with her show-stopping musical number, Let It Go. And when she was about to perform that song at the Oscars the next year, she was introduced by John Travolta, the king of movie musicals. So what could go wrong for her big moment in the spotlight?
Please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazeem.
Now how the hell could Travolta have fucked up such a simple task? Well, according to Travolta, the Oscar producers told him at the very last minute that they had changed Menzel's name on the teleprompter to a phonetic spelling, which fucked Travolta's tongue all up.
The wickedly talented one and only.
However, it ended up being the best possible thing to happen for Menzel's career. Even the marquee for her latest Broadway musical decided to play a goof and bill her as Adele Dazeem. She even had such a sense of humor over it that she and Travolta presented the Best Song Award that next year.
Please welcome to the stage my very dear friend, Glom Gazingo.
Though Travolta was getting a little too friendly with her, if you ask me.
But you, my darling, my beautiful, my wickedly talented Idina Menzel.
You got it!
And if you thought the internet blew up over Adele Dazeem, the memes they made with Travolta's grabby behavior on stage, as well as with Scarlett Johansson on the red carpet, flowed steadily over social media. But in the end, it worked out for everyone. Let It Go won the Oscar that year, Idina Menzel's star continues to rise, and John Travolta continues his never-ending quest for a hairpiece that actually resembles human hair. Number 2, from 1985, the Oscars get haunted by the Ghostbusters. Yes, Ghostbusters may have become a huge hit because of its comedic chemistry and awesome special effects, but its legendary theme song from Ray Parker Jr. really helped seal the deal, with the song even being nominated for the Best Original Song Oscar in 1985. But while the song's music video was an ornate production featuring cameos from some of Hollywood's biggest stars, the production number they staged for it at the Oscars is another case altogether. In this musical number, Ray Parker Jr. sings the song playing an innocent dock worker who finds himself at the mercy of a gang of fiendish spirits who try scaring Ray off with their otherworldly dance skills. Ooh, watch out, Ray Parker Jr. These sons of bitches got pirouettes!
Something weird, and it don't look good.
But soon enough, Ray is saved when who should bust in but Come on, guys, any time now.
Please don't call!
Oh, those are not the Ghostbusters. That's the Crest team on their way to fight the Cavity Creeps.
Brush after every meal with C-R-E-S-T.
Yes, of all the Oscars' tacky production numbers over the years, this one has it all. A Spinal Tap-esque technical malfunction, bad overlay effects, costumes and proton packs which look nothing remotely like the movie, and a random Dom DeLuise cameo to top it all off.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts!
By the way, Dom DeLuise was my least favorite Phantom of the Opera. How fitting that the Oscar ended up going to Stevie Wonder that night, because even a blind man could see how mind-bogglingly cheesy this production number was. But that shit is nothing compared to the #1 most awfully good moment in Oscar history.
It's the bomb!
Number 1, from 1989, Snow White and Rob Lowe bombed the Oscars. Tell me if these 4 things belong together. Snow White, the protagonist of Walt Disney's legendary first film, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Alan Carr, the famously flamboyant co-producer and co-writer of Grease, known for his lavish Hollywood parties in the 70s and 80s. Rob Lowe, the young heartthrob actor who needed to rehabilitate his image when a sex tape of him and a 16-year-old girl leaked out. And Proud Mary, the 1969 rock classic from Creedence Clearwater Revival. Yes, these 4 elements all intersected in the opening musical number of the 1989 Oscars. And the results were something that had to be seen to be believed.
He is one of the great legends of Hollywood. She's back with us tonight, Miss Snow White. Good evening.
Oh, good evening, Mr. Archer.
Meet your blind date, Rob Lowe.
Used to work a lot for Walt Disney, starring in cartoons every night and day.
But you said goodbye to Grumpy and Sleepy. Let the
Candles keep on turning. Ooh,
Yes, Alan Carr's chintzy 10-minute ode to old school Hollywood, complete with a parade of confused-looking elderly actors wandering away from the retirement home, went over like a lead balloon with the Oscars audience. I mean, just look at all those pain-filled faces, all of them internally screaming in agony. In fact, an open letter to the Academy after the show, signed by such stars as Gregory Peck, Paul Newman, and Julie Andrews, declared the opening number an embarrassment to both the Academy and the entire motion picture industry. Disney sued the Academy over the use of Snow White's likeness, while the actress playing Snow White, Eileen Bowman, never worked in Hollywood again. In fact, the only person to come out of this with their reputation intact was Rob Lowe, who now has the honor of saying he was involved with what was literally the worst moment in Oscar history. Well, there you have them, the winners for the top 5 most awfully good moments in Oscar history. On behalf of JoBlo.com and Awfully Good Movies, I'm Jesse Shade, hoping you all enjoy the Oscars. And after having to watch that Snow White musical number, I'm hoping you still can.
I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. Oh! There they are, standing in...
JoBlo, he sure likes to drink a lot. And JoBlo watches movies like the hero